So we're going to jump back into John Scott's testimony to the Post Office Horizon IT inquiry, where he outlines his roles at the post office and his working relationships with his line managers, including being called for Christmas Horizon duty. Let's find out what that is and jump into the inquiry.
You held various roles in the security team in the post office between joining in 1997 and 2004, is that right?
Yes.
And from 1999 to 2004, you were head of security for Royal Mail International, is that right?
Yes.
What were the primary responsibilities of that job?
It was all preventative around the theft or loss of international mail.
Were you aware in that period of time of the development of the Horizon system?
No.
So in the 5-year period between 1999 and 2004, you had not heard of Horizon, is that right?
As far as I recall, no.
And so you weren't aware that the benefits agency had been involved in the project and had withdrawn from it?
No.
And you weren't aware of any what were described as acceptance issues, i.e., in high-level summary, whether the Horizon system was performing as expected or not during the development of Horizon?
No.
You weren't aware of issues that arose concerning the reliability and accuracy of the data that Horizon produced during the rollout of Horizon?
No.
You wouldn't have been aware that the rollout of Horizon had to be paused?
No.
Nor the reasons why rollout had to be paused?
No.
From 2004 to 2007, you were the security manager, the senior security manager for physical security, is that right?
For the post office, yes.
And were you required to perform tasks in that role that required an understanding of how Horizon functioned in branches?
Very limited for Christmas duty.
Can you explain, please?
So all employees would support the branch network at Crown offices and would go onto the counter and do the very most basic of services like selling stamps.
So it was just
So there, because I know that's a question that's come up a lot before, so there, that's kind of confirmation that the Crown offices were also using Horizon, because I know that's come up a number of times previously in people's questions. Was it just the franchise post offices? Well, it seems like no, actually it was both at the time.
A knowledge sufficient to work at a temporary cover level at Christmas?
Even more limited than that, because it is very basic products we would have been selling.
Sorry, if you just keep your voice up, it was very basic products?
Such as selling stamps. It wasn't even extended past those sort of areas, very basic products.
Between 2004 and 2007, did you receive any training on the use of Horizon?
And to do that, it would have probably been a 1-day training course to sell those basic products.
And a 1-day training course once, not each year?
Once.
Did you receive any refresher training?
Not that I recall.
In that period up until 2007, i.e. until you became head of security, had you heard of any issues with the integrity of Horizon or the reliability and accuracy of the data that it produced?
No.
From 2007 onwards, you became head of security, is that right?
Yes.
And you took over from Tony Marsh?
Yes.
And Mr. Marsh moved to be in charge of security at the Royal Mail Group, is that right?
Yes.
You hesitated?
No, he did go to the Royal Mail Group as head of security, and then it evolved a little bit after that, I think.
Tell us about the evolution.
The security director, or group security director, left around about 2008, and he took on that role as well as the director of his existing role. So it merged two roles.
So he didn't move to Royal Mail Group to be the head of security. He moved for another role, and then a year later also took over that role.
No, he did go over to be the head of security or director of security for Royal Mail Letters, and then when the Royal Mail Group director left, he took on that role as well as the Royal Mail lettered role.
Was there any chain of responsibility between you and Mr. Marsh after Mr. Marsh moved to the Royal Mail Group?
Once he took over the group security director, yes, there was a dotted line.
And what did the dotted line consist of?
He was the group security director responsible for security across all business units within the Royal Mail Group.
And so, for example, how often would you meet or otherwise communicate?
I do recall going and meeting him 2 or 3 times in the first 18 months or a couple of years, and less so thereafter.
And if you can tell us more about what a dotted line means, was he responsible in any way for your management or supervision?
Day to day, that's a responsibility of post office line management. He was responsible more for the security and the security requirements across the business.
What does that mean? He was responsible for the security requirements across the business, insofar as that concerned you?
So he had overall oversight of the security within the post office, the strategy, the direction, what we're delivering to, our performance, etc.
And so would you say he had oversight of the discharge of the responsibilities of the security department within post office, including its leadership by you?
I guess so, yes.